What's happening, YouTube? You're watching Steel City Motovlogs. I'm Derek T, your host, and I'm out here on another work day, headed to see one of my children that I work with, and I'm actually recording this one with a little bit of a upgraded Motovlog setup. I did a couple modifications to my helmet, although I didn't make a video about it because I just figured there's enough videos about how to set up your Motovlog helmet by now. But if any of you have a specific comment or question about my particular setup, you can drop a comment below, or check this video out right here on your screen. It talks about my helmet setup. But what I did was, in my former setup, I had two different microphones. I had one that's right here behind the camera, and it's positioned kind of right in front of me so I can speak into it. But then I also had another one. When I did the ride to the roundup, I realized that I had audio that was just really poor when it was coming from other people. So my solution to that was I put a microphone in front of one of my speakers on my Sena SMH10. That's what that is right here. I put a microphone in front of it, and it made an improvement. It did. But at the same time, I guess the way that I positioned it, it wasn't secure. So a couple videos ago, I had some really good footage of me riding and talking to somebody, and I'm thinking that the audio was coming really good with them, and it just wasn't. So when I investigated, I found out the microphone had been shifted and everything else. So I went and did some more work, and I actually pulled those microphones out and I replaced them with purple pandas. And so now I have not one, not two, but actually 3 purple pandas in my helmet now. I bought them off Amazon, and there they are right there on your screen. There's also a link below. Anybody who's been doing this for any length of time is pretty familiar with the purple panda lavalier microphones. I have the adapters and everything else, and they're kind of secured here, and the wiring goes through the helmet. You all know how to wire your helmets by now. Like I said, if you don't, there's a video on my channel about that already, if you'd like to see my setup. But now I'm secured not just to one on my left ear. On my right ear now, there's a third microphone. So both of my speakers from the Sena are now mic'd, and I think it's going to give me, I haven't been able to test it just yet. Well, I tested it with some music, and for copyright purposes I can't really demonstrate that for you right now, but I did demonstrate it with music, and the music came through loud and clear. So if ever I'm out and connected somebody via the Sena Bluetooth, or if I'm just talking on the phone and riding, we'll get a chance to listen to how that sounds. So I have some improved audio coming through. The other reason why I decided to do some improvements on my audio was because the microphone that I was using, I found out had a short in it, and so there's a lot of crackling and everything else in a couple of my other videos, and I just didn't like the sound of it at all. So upgraded microphones was the first thing. The second thing is, if you remember watching my trailer pool video, and I had some pretty scathing things to say about the GoPro Hero 7 Silver, and I said I was going to possibly, sorry, the truck is loud, but possibly going to get another camera that eventually I'm going to mount back there when I'm pulling the trailer. but I actually do have the camera now. And shouts out to Solo Black 313. Brother Kenny, I listened to your advice, and I went and I bought the Ocasio. Is that how you say it? Ocasio? The Ocasio Brave 7 LE. And that's actually right here. I'm testing it today. I didn't bring the Max 360 with me today. That's a test run of the Ocasio Brave 7. And all goes well, that's going to be what records the trailer view whenever I'm pulling my trailer. So a few upgrades to my equipment, which I'm praying will result in improved content on the channel, as well as the Ocasio Brave 7 LE. My main squeeze is the GoPro Hero 8 Black here on the front of my helmet. That's where all the audio is coming from. And that was one thing. I did a lot of reviews. I read a lot of reviews. I watched a lot of YouTube videos about what people were saying about the Ocasio. And the number one knock against the Ocasio is that the audio coming from it sucks. And I don't know that to be true from my own experience. I just know it from all of the Amazon reviews that I've read and from the YouTube videos that I've watched. And a lot of people have put out very detailed reviews about it, and even gave test footage of the Ocasio versus the GoPro when it came to audio, and how the quality of the audio is just not really good.
All right, y'all, I had to interrupt that video really quickly and bring you a little bit of an update. So as of the time of that video, I had not heard the audio coming from the Ocasio Brave 7 LE, but I've since been able to put that clip into editing and post-production, and it's as advertised. The Ocasio Brave 7 is as advertised. And that is, here's the camera right here, but the audio absolutely sucks. There's no getting around it. It's not good. But I don't need it to be. I don't need it to be, because all of my audio is really coming from the GoPro, and the footage that you're seeing on the B-reel is just simply video and not audio at all. So this little guy will do the trick. It'll get the job done for what I need it to do. But if you're on the market for an action camera, something that you want to add your own audio to, you might want to have a secondary plan of some kind for your audio, because if you're depending on this, you're going to be disappointed. All right. Other than that, I think it's a good little camera. It comes with a lot of accessories. Here's the case for it right here, and plenty of other accessories too. It's a nice, neat little package for $140. So if you're on the market for a budget action camera, this is definitely a good choice, but you want to have a backup plan for your audio. All right, we're back at it. Let's go back to the road.
I went on and went with the Ocasio because honestly, my intention is never to use the Ocasio for audio purposes. When I take the footage from the SD card from the Ocasio and I put it in a video editor, the first thing that I do is, or any secondary view camera that I use, sometimes if it's the Max 360 or if it's the 7 Silver, that god-awful 7 Silver, oftentimes when I put it in the editor for post-production, it's usually on a channel or on a track that is muted. The volume is all the way cut out of it anyway, to where the only audio that you're ever hearing in my videos outside of the music for the channel is what is being spoken directly into the GoPro via my Motovlog helmet. So that's, I wasn't scared off or put off by the lack of audio performance of the Ocasio. I mean, we're only talking about $130 camera, which really worked out for me. I just couldn't see myself. I could do it, I just didn't really want to find myself where I'm paying $300 or $400 more for another GoPro for B-reel footage, when there was something a bit easier to be able to get that same footage, the same quality of footage, and pay a fraction of the price. And so that was just really budget friendly to do. There's also a remote right here that I mounted right here. I don't know if you all can see that or not. My head is down, but my eyes are up, so I can concentrate on the road. But there's a remote for the Akaso as well, so I know that it's running when I want it to run. So this is the first kind of maiden voyage for the Akaso, and we'll see what, if any, adjustments need to be made when we get into the editing process. I have a couple other, I picked up some more stuff for the bike as well. I have another episode of audio upgrades, and the funny thing is, that's actually how this channel started. This whole channel started not because I was looking to record motovlogs from the road and talk while I'm riding and come home and edit videos. The purpose of my first couple of videos was just to detail my upgraded stereo system on the GL1500, because, you know, when you get, first of all, I was lucky enough to get my GL1500 at the price that I got it. I mean, at the end of the day, I was only $1,500 out of pocket buying this bike. And the reason why was because, given the price that the seller wanted for this bike versus how much I sold my Yamaha V-Star 1100 for, I was only having to come out of pocket another $1,500. So, you know, but on a 23-year-old bike, something like that, 1998, roughly a 23, 24-year-old bike, you know, the radio system on the GL1500, it just isn't that great after all this time. And so I went on this journey of upgrading my stereo system, and that turned into the audio upgrades series on the channel. It wasn't until after I had started doing the audio upgrade videos that I started kind of watching other videos, particularly of people who had Gold Wings, and I was looking for people who had Gold Wing 1500s and who were doing different things to them. And in my assessment, there just wasn't a whole lot out there for the 1500. There's plenty of people out there who have the 1800s and now the DCTs that have been out since 2018. GB Winging It just did a video about, you know, being in love with his 18, and I'm sure he is. I'm sure there's really good reason to. It looks like an amazing bike. I hope to join that club one day, but for now I'm going to love the one I'm with, and that is my Honda Goldwing 1500. But this bike has taken me very far, and in a whole lot of comfort in doing so, and I don't doubt its ability to take me anywhere. But like I was saying, the audio upgrades series is really kind of where the channel kind of got its birth. And now I'm revisiting that topic because I'm upgrading my stereo once again based on some stuff that I've learned along the way. And I have a really good setup right now. One thing my brother was reminding me about, he was like, you know, you don't really have to do anything. He was like, your system sounds great. You don't really have to do anything. And I said, that's true, but I kind of want to. So when I get in the mood to, and this week in Pittsburgh, it's supposed to be pretty rainy after today. So I might take the next 3 or 4 days during the bad weather and get in the garage and go about adding my additional audios. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my amplifier. And the reason why I'm replacing my amplifier is because 2 of my channels, even though all my speakers are running into 2 of my channels, 2 of them are burnt out. 2 of them don't work. There's no power going to any of, or at least 2 of the 4 channels. And so at the time that I made that discovery, I rewired all of my speakers into 2 of the 4 channels, the 2 channels that do work. So in the meantime, and it's been like that. It's been like that for months now. As a matter of fact, it's been like that for more than a year, because I went to the National Biker Roundup last year, and it was like that then. But I'm going to replace the amplifier, and I'm also going to run all of my electronics, that being my audio equipment and my lights, to a fuse block. I'm going to extend the fuse block on the bike, and I'm going to run everything into the fuse block and then to my secondary battery setup. I'll show all of that as well. So it's a little bit of an electrical system versus it's a little bit of an electrical system upgrade and an audio visual upgrade as well. And based on what I know now, it shouldn't take terribly long to do. I'm going to do it correctly. Take my time a little bit, but it shouldn't be the painstaking process that the original upgrade was. Alright, that's it for now, y'all. I'll see you all back on the road.